Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Bulby Reviews, a video series where I, Bulbison, review video games. Today we are going to be talking about Pokémon Legends Arceus. So I just finished the game a couple days ago at the time of writing this script, and I am happy to say I was wrong. To be honest, I was expecting a mediocre game that I would still have fun with, but wasn't a game I was going to be coming back to time and time again. But haha, I finished the game in 3 days and couldn't stop playing after. So this review is going to be as spoiler free as I can hopefully make it, since I'm making this so close to launch. But I do plan on making a more spoilery review later on when more people have played the game. So if you want to see my thoughts on the story and stuff, then you guys should go check that out when it comes out, which is might be a while. But today's review is going to be more gameplay oriented. So with all that out of the way, let's get straight into the gameplay first thing. The best way I can describe this game's gameplay is just plain fun. You know you have done a 3D game well when the player can just have fun running around the world for hours without even continuing the story. This game is unlike any Pokemon game before, except for the Wild Area and Sword and Shield, because it is actually 3D with an explorable world and movable camera. Wait a minute, is that a roof? Is that allowed? The game takes place in the region of Hisui, which is Sinnoh 100 years in the past. Because of it being in the past, this allowed Game Freak to change the landscape a lot from Diamond and Pearl, but there are still locations and references to the original games. The way you catch Pokemon is really cool in this game. You can either sneak up on them, throw a ball and hope it catches, or you can engage the Pokemon in a battle and catch it the old-fashioned way by whittling down its HP and throwing a ball from the menu. The battles are also in the actual world now, so when you run into a Pokemon it doesn't take you to this weird battle dimension place, you just stop where you are in battle. They added a little bit to the battling too. When you hop into a battle, you can choose to have this little battle order thing pop up on the right of your screen. The reason they need this is because the battles aren't always as straightforward as your Pokemon attacks, their Pokemon attacks, rinse and repeat. Sometimes, depending on your Pokemon's speed, you may be able to attack multiple times in a row, but this also goes for their Pokemon as well. Another thing that relates to the battle turns is the new Strong and Agile style moves. Basically, once your Pokemon levels up enough, it will be able to master one of its moves, meaning you can choose to either use it in Strong style or Agile style. Strong style makes your move stronger but also slower most of the time, giving your opponent a chance to attack twice in a row. And Agile style makes your move weaker but also faster, sometimes giving you the chance to attack twice. The exploration is the thing I had the most fun with, but here's where one of the many things people dislike about the game comes in: the lack of a fully open world. So when this game was first announced, most of us believed it was going to be fully open world like Breath of the Wild, but with, you know, Pokemon. This is not how the game is, however. This game is actually semi-open world, meaning there are big open areas for you to explore, but they don't just flow into each other naturally. You have to use a menu to pick which place you want to go before going. Now, I know this is sort of a hot take, but I think this decision was actually a good one. I was wondering before I knew the game wasn't going to be fully open world how they were going to make a meaningful story out of it, because, well, Zelda didn't implement its story the greatest. It is really hard to make a story in an open world game because you can't just lock the player to a set path and tell them the story bits, because the whole point of an open world game is that you get to explore freely. With this kind of world though, telling a story is much easier because you unlock each place as you go, meaning, yes, it does put you on a set path of where to go next, but the places they give you to explore are actually really big. Like, I spent at least an hour exploring each place before continuing the story. But part of the fun of exploration is the landscapes, so let's move on to a talk about the graphics. To be honest, yeah, they do be kind of rough, but they look really nice at some points too. The Pokemon models actually look really nice, and so do the animations, most of the time. Yeah, for some reason they do this thing where instead of the Pokemon popping in and out like in Pokemon Sword and Shield, it just makes the Pokemon's animation play at a really low frame rate when you walk far enough away. See, honestly, this would work, but you really don't have to walk that far away for it to happen, and it's very noticeable when it does. Usually I don't realize frame rate issues when playing games, but this, yeah, I noticed it. The landscapes overall don't look too bad, but the textures can be pretty low quality at times, and yet again, something I don't usually notice that I definitely did in this game. Overall, the graphics aren't terrible, but they definitely could have been better. This game is honestly just super fun to play, and I probably would have had this video out sooner if I could just stop playing. But anyway, even with all the bad stuff I said about the game, I would still very much recommend it. I know that from what I've seen, the graphics have turned a lot of people off, and honestly, I get it. Part of the fun of newer gen games, specifically open world ones, is to see how they handle the graphics and make them the best they can be so that you want to explore and see all the beautiful surroundings. But in my opinion, I think that the gameplay is fun enough to make up for the somewhat lack in the graphics department. As I said before, this game is just plain fun, and I would recommend it to anyone who just wants to have a real fun time with a more action RPG type Pokemon game. Also, the battle music is really good. Yes, this is how I'm going to end every video now. Okay, bye.